What's up? I'm a part of a podcast called The Movie Bros Show. We're getting off the ground, we're getting started, but I figured I'd share this video with you because it is our first movie review of the movie Prey. It's currently available on Hulu, and so I wanted to share it with you. Just check out our review and check out the podcast when it drops this Friday. This Friday, the 6th of January. Thanks so much. See you then.
So, I recently told Remy about Prey, done by Hulu. It's a Hulu original, if I remember right. And I was quite impressed. And so, I think we're going to start our first episode kind of breaking down Prey a little bit.
So, we're going to go ahead and give you a warning, giant warning. If you haven't seen the movie Prey yet, spoilers, lots of spoilers. Want to give you a second to turn away now. Go watch it on Hulu and then come right back and enjoy our conversation. But we don't want to spoil it if you don't like spoilers. So spoiler alert.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Is that enough?
Yeah, I hope that's enough.
Okay.
If
Spoilers.
Not, yeah. We'll put it at the bottom. Right here. Spoilers.
Yeah. Right here. Okay. I can do that.
So, well, first I'll ask Jeremy, what'd you think?
I thought it was great. Overall, like, if I went into this movie not expecting 100% what it was, I'd have been like, why is there a spaceship and what, I think they said it was 1718 Comanche Nation. I'm like, what? But I knew, but then the second I saw those three little dots, I knew right away.
Yeah.
Or the invisible creature with the dreads on the back of the
What about the clicking noise? Yeah, exactly. Right.
Yeah. I'm like, all of those are just so telling that this is a Predator movie.
Yeah. I really enjoyed this movie. I thought, first off, the actors were phenomenal. Like the young Indian actors there, and I was really grateful that they had actual indigenous actors playing these Comanche tribe. I think that's probably one of the greatest things. I mean, it's they could have easily gone down the road of having a white actor or just another portraying the tale in a different story, but the actors first were amazing. The lead character, I believe her name was Amanda. I'm sorry, Amber Midthunder.
Yeah.
Man, she was phenomenal. And I'm gonna be biased here. I'm not really a great fan of women in action type scenarios. There's only been a few women I feel like could pull it off well. A lot of the times you kind of see through the action, especially when you see a lot of action movies and you know that, that scene was the stunt double. She really didn't catch that guy in the face. She doesn't have enough strength to pick him up that way. When you've seen enough action movies, you just kind of tend to spot out. And I felt like this was somewhat realistic in the sense that, she didn't go out and just dominate this beast, right? There was a lot of running away. Yeah. There was a lot of hide and seek.
Yeah, I think that's what I love too. It was exactly like she was agile, right? And that was her ability to get away. It's right. Like she just ran the fastest.
And on top of that, I felt like she thought like a woman kind of thinks. If you notice, all the other men in the story went right up there and died, and she was more of kind of a survivor type. She used her head a lot more. She was patient. I felt like she didn't give into the rage, which led a lot of them to death. And I understand there's culture there with Comanches going up and touching their enemies and showing that they're not unafraid. But I felt like they really portrayed her action scenes really well.
Yeah.
I also like the French Canadian type of characters. That was really cool too. I didn't see that coming. I kind of felt when initially the first trap the dog got into, I thought, oh, there's some fur trappers there.
Yeah.
Kind of in that day. That was really good. But, I did feel the other parts were, gosh, the location, man. I mean, it was almost Lord of the Rings locations where, I mean, they were just so pristine. The water scenes, the colors. I like the open field scene where they kind of run out in the open field, and there's the sunset and the orange on it. Just the colors, the hues of colors in that movie was just phenomenal. I saw it on a 72-inch, high def 4K, and man, I tell you, it just lit the room up. I was just so excited about the cinematography of that. So
Yeah. I loved one of the things she said in the movie was it knows how to hunt, but I know how to survive.
Yeah.
And like everyone also it was kind of her standing up for her own ability in the way of like becoming that warrior, that huntress that she was wanting to become the whole time. She was like, I might not have the same skills you expect me to have, but maybe my skills matter too. It's like she proved that she could out survive all of them, right? And even though it sucked, losing her brother especially, and everything like that she had to go through, ultimately she comes back with that green glowing blood on her face.
Yeah.
And that was so epic at the end to see her like own that, and it's like the ultimate predator that we know like
Yeah, right.
comes down here and she somehow stops it.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
I loved also the scenes that really told you it wanted to be the ultimate predator to prove itself. So once it saw something else kill something, it was like, oh, I'm going to kill that to
Right.
prove I'm bigger than that. So
Right.
like the rattlesnake after it eats the
rabbit, or
yeah.
So first, I think what was it? What was the sequence? Was it the snake eats the rabbit?
Yeah.
Um,
And then
well, that first initial sequence, we'll have to come back and follow up on that. But it was basically like, smaller prey gets eaten by a larger predator, which gets eaten by another predator, and then you get the ultimate predator taking out the snake, and
one of the coolest parts that I thought of that is like, how the predator sees your heat, like
Yeah.
he has heat vision, which the story actually plays with a little bit too. But rattling snakes, or am I saying that wrong?
Rattler.
Yeah. I don't know why I felt like that was wrong, but they use like heat to see you and sense you. Like the way they see is with their nose and smell and senses more than just with sight. So that, I don't know if you saw, but it kind of hissed at the predator before it stabbed it.
Yes.
And I was like, it saw someone invisible, but then
Yeah.
I was like, no, because rattlers have senses that they use. So it's like still proving I'm the best, even though you have that ability too.
My favorite scene was with the bear.
Oh yeah.
And the predator. That was kind of what I expected. The way the bear attacked, how dominant it was, really, honestly, until it turned away. I felt like the bear fighting scene was just great. So yeah, I mean, all in all, I really enjoyed the movie. Sometimes when I look at a movie, like the bog scene or the marsh scene where she kind of got sucked in, I mean, I could kind of tell that was going to be an important piece of the movie towards the end. And I kind of hate that in movies where you're like, oh, they only showed this part to kind of set you up for a later part.
Yeah.
And I kind of knew that at some point she was going to trap the predator into that place. But, and I call those kind of movie magic moments where you have to have it for the movie to kind of make sense or to portray an important part. Um,
I felt, I don't know if you noticed it, but that point in the movie, I thought it was paying tribute to Arnie when he covers himself in the mud.
I gotcha.
And
Okay.
like he's invisible to the predator
Right.
because he cooled down his body.
Right.
And I was like, oh, she fell in the mud as paying tribute. I don't know.
Gotcha. No,
That's
no,
just
no.
kind of what I thought.
That's actually an interesting
Yeah.
point of view. I didn't kind of think of that. For a second there, I didn't think she was gonna make it.
I know she was like,
yeah,
she was like freaking Atreyu. And
yeah,
the horse and the.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So
Never ending story. Okay, there it is. Sorry.
But yeah, all in all, man, I if we're going scale wise, me it was kind of a 90 out of 100 or 4 out of 5, definitely. Definitely worth the watch. I mean, it was high quality type of stuff.
The director, Dan Trachtenberg. I just wanted to say his name because he's obviously done this. He directed 10 Cloverfield Lane and like episodes of The Boys, and like just already like I like his direction. Like he's paying tribute to what he should, and I just think he did a great job. I don't know. You could tell when people receive direction the proper way. One of the other really cool things about this movie, I watched it to the very end. Through the credits, there's like Indian style like carvings on caves. And it tells the story of the movie.
Yes, I saw that too, actually.
So cool.
I saw that too, actually.
I love it when people do something like that. Pays tribute to the movie again.
Yeah, it's kind of it's like if you eat a cake and then at the end they kind of just bring out this last little sweet piece of cookie or something extra. This is that one extra topping. But again, that just kind of goes to show like it's there's artistic vision there as opposed to we're just churning out movies to make a profit.
Yeah.
And we'll just pick tantalizing subjects or throw a bunch of naked girls in there just so somebody will go see it, right? Just for a profit.
Yeah.
Again, that to me that shows dedication to the art, and caring about the movies, the stuff that you produce. And so I thought it was a phenomenal film. I recommended watching it.
What did you think? Excuse me. What did you think about English?
Oh, so I was torn on that. I watch enough foreign movies that I'm okay with them using the native language. I feel like it gives it more authenticity, because they didn't speak English and they didn't use the traditional like 1960s Navajo speak where they're kind of like speaking like Golden Bear, me shoot arrow and for tree, right? To be honest, I would have preferred it to be all Comanche and preferred the French Canadians. I mean, they didn't kind of use English on the French Canadians. They spoke French, if I'm not mistaken.
It did. Yeah.
What was the other? There was another. So I kind of felt like I know they do it for American audiences, but to me, I would enjoy it that much more thoroughly to hear the actual Comanche tongue. I mean, I just have a knack for languages anyways. Mm-hmm. And so I'm not against it. I get it because it's, you kind of pitch the movie to the audience you're trying to hit, right? And we're going for English here, right? An American audience. And actually, English is spoken prevalent throughout all of the world, but if it was my druthers, my money, my picture, I'd prefer it in the natural Comanche language.
So the way I kind of saw it, and what made me okay with it was they do use some Comanche at first, and then the more we got like into her story, is when they started speaking more English. And as a D&D player,
Yeah.
I see that as like common, like they're speaking
Right.
common.
Correct.
So instead of actually speaking our language or whatever, like English, they're actually just now we can understand it. It's
Yeah.
like we have the little fish from Hitchhiker's Guide in our ear.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
but then the reason I brought that up is because I saw that there's a full Comanche dub
Yes.
after the show,
Yes.
and so you can watch it in all Comanche.
Yeah, and I think I'll go back and watch that one as well. I mean, I really, to me, I don't know if you remember a movie with Antonio Banderas called The 13th Warrior, and it's kind of came out in like the '90s, and it's about this. Actually, he portrayed like an Arabian prince or an Iranian prince, and he gets sent because he was having an affair, and he gets sent to this other and that's a movie we're gonna have to get you to watch. But essentially, the movie he goes out with these Vikings, and they speak Norwegian or some Polish, whatever language, Swedish, whatever language is in that area, and he sits there, and you don't understand anything that they're saying, but he sits there and studies the language, and as the night goes on, he begins to interpret the language, and then you start to hear it in English.
That's cool.
Right. So they were speaking native, and all of a sudden you're starting to hear certain words in English, and then you're able to get the full comprehension. And I kind of felt like that's how Prey did it a little bit. But that was one of the coolest language transitions, I thought.
Yeah.
Coming from the 13th Warrior, and we certainly got to get you to watch that one. It's phenomenal. It's another one that kind of slipped under the radar that did well, but it's. I feel like marketing was way different, kind of back in the '90s. I really enjoyed it. Big fan of Antonio Banderas. So.
All right. Well, that was our review of Prey. We'll continue the episode here in a moment. I hope you enjoyed our review of Prey. Again, check out our podcast, The Movie Bros Show, this Friday on January 6th. Check it out everywhere, especially on Spotify and on YouTube. That's where it'll be first, guaranteed. Thanks so much.